Howdy friends. Was talking to some pals of mine this week and tell them about my green egg and how I like to cook on it. And I like making Boston butts on it. It's one of my favorite things to eat, pulled pork. They're just wonderful. And I know there's already a bunch of videos out on YouTube about how to make pulled pork and how to use a Boston butt in a green egg and how to smoke it. But today I wanted to make one, and I wanted to make a kid-friendly video. So if your children are watching it, maybe you're watching it and your wife, and you want to make sure that no one's going to say any foul language or any bad kind of things like that, then this is where you need to be. And I also would like to share with you my love for my Lord Jesus Christ, the one that He gave His life for me on that cross. And only through His blood am I saved, and I'm born again through Him. And when I leave here, I'm going to get me a brand new mansion. You know, Jesus went ahead of me, and He's made me a mansion in heaven, and it's ready. And it's got my name on it. So you can do the same thing too. Just make sure you put your trust and faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, because He's the only way to get to heaven. You can't buy your way to heaven. You can't work your way to heaven. That's how you're going to get there. You're going to put your trust and faith in Him. That's really easy to do, and I can tell you how to do that. But right now, I just wanted to go through my green egg and kind of tell you what I have and show you how I get it going. Tell you some of the things that I like doing and how it is. Maybe it might make it easier for you. So anyway, I got a green egg here. This one here is a large, I think. It's not extra large or anything, but it's plenty big enough for my family of 5. And we use an all-natural charcoal, and we use real wood in it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad idea, but I do know that when I'm smoking, I don't like using those chips because they go away real fast. The chips go away super fast. So what I do is, I had a friend, he gives me like pecan wood, and what I do is I cut it in small chunks, and then I take a small hatchet and I chip it up and I make chips like it. That's how I do that. And anyway, real quickly on the green egg, in here I have my chunks and I have my charcoal. I have it filled up, and got a pine needle in there. Probably don't need that in there. We'll get that out. So anyway, got my all natural charcoal in there, and pretty much ready to go. I cleaned it out today, and that's why it looks so dirty. But hey, dirty's okay. If you're doing something good and you're doing a good job at it, you're going to get dirty. I get these cheap fire lighters at the grocery store. They work just as good as anything else. I'm not sure what they have in there. I know they got beeswax and stuff in it. And I have these. They're kind of cheap, and you get a whole bag full. And I'll be honest with you, I think these are faster than using these. I'm not saying anything bad about the green egg folks, because they make good stuff, but these are expensive. The green egg ones are, and these here work just as good. But the way I like to do these is, you know, when you get your green egg started up or get ready to start it, you got to get it all opened up here and get your charcoal in here. And anyway, I like these because I can break them off into these chunks like that, and I can spread them all out, and it gets my fire going a lot faster. So real quickly, I'll light it, and we'll just kind of get going, and I'll tell you a little more about what I'm doing.
Oh, my brother, do you know the Savior, whose wonder is kind and true? He's the rock of your salvation. There's honey in the rock for you. There's honey in the rock, my brother. There's honey in the rock for you. Reasons for blood to cover. There's honey in the rock for you.
There we go. The idea is get that in there. Got my hole open here on the bottom. It's wide open. So it should catch up pretty quick. And then the green egg, if you're going to be cooking stuff like Boston butts and things like that, you got to use this thing called a plate setter. I don't set any plates on it, so I think that's kind of a funny name for that thing, but that's what it's called, a plate setter. And then I'm kind of picky. I don't like all the drippings to fall down in my green eggs, so I'm going to get a thing to put in here. So here's my pan that I put in here to keep all the grease and stuff from falling down in my egg. And I will probably fill that up with water as well to kind of add some more moisture into the green egg. I know I heard of folks putting applesauce and all that kind of stuff in there. And to me that's, I mean not applesauce, apple vinegar cider and all that stuff. And yeah, that might help the taste of the meat, but I just don't know that the price of the apple vinegar cider is worth putting the whole thing of it in here, you know, because that thing almost take a gallon even in that little tray. So I think that's kind of a waste. But anyway, real quickly, I'll go through my BBQ Guru real fast because these things are really handy to have. And that's kind of what it looks like. It's a little dirty. It's got the food temperature, the pit temperature. You can adjust it up and down, and it will keep your fire going. It's got a little blower on it that blows in there and keeps it burning. As long as you got fuel in there, this thing here regulates temperature for you almost perfectly. It's got 2 probes on it. One's a meat probe, one's a pit probe. The pit probe, you just clip it to the grate in the green egg, and then the meat probe, of course, you just poke it down in your Boston butt, and that's kind of the idea on that. So one thing you got to be real careful of, these things are fairly expensive, the probes are, so always be real gentle with them when you unroll them and roll them up, because if you break one off, you got to go buy you one, and you don't want them to break off when you're fixing to cook something or while you're cooking, because that'll kind of ruin your day, you know, so to speak. So anyway, that one there is my meat probe. I'm gonna lay that one to the side, and this one here is my pit probe. These things got a little connector on there. It says pit. Plugs in there, and I like hooking these up. I like trying to be mindful to go around the plate setter so that it's not in the way when you open and close the door. And also, you want to keep the heat off of these things, so you don't want to have it over here in the back where the flame's coming up and it's getting really hot and stuff. That'll ruin those things. Or the BBQ Guru folks says not to do that. So anyway, I got to clean this grate a little bit, but for now I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in here, and I'll connect up this BBQ Guru pit probe, and that way you'll see how I do it. I do it just like that. I just have to be careful not to knock it over, so that way when I close my door, it seals up just fine. And then this one here, this one's the meat probe. Goes in the food port on the BBQ Guru, right there. And I just lay it over the handle till I get started. Here's the fan on the BBQ Guru, and it plugs into the blower port on the BBQ Guru, right there. Of course, that's pretty simple. Anybody with any knowledge at all about connecting up stuff shouldn't have any trouble with that. Here's something that seemed to be confusing for some people on Amazon. But anyway, this thing's pretty easy, and they make them for all different kind of cookers and stuff. But this one here is specifically for the green egg, and it's pretty easy to put in. You just basically set it in a slot, slide it up, connect it. This little thing here goes against your top tray to hold it in, and then I have to push it in and then slide my damper over. So now all the air is being pulled through that, and that's where the blower comes in. So with the blower, I think I got it halfway. It's got a little dial on it here that shows you closed and open and stuff. Right now I got it a little better than halfway open. Probably need to open that up all the way. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, there we go. So that's opened up all the way, and you slide it up in the hole. I try to be careful with that, because once I get that set in there, I don't want to bend it or anything. Then basically just plug up your power cord, and that's the power cord. Goes into 12 volts DC. and then you'll see the BBQ Guru come alive and give you all these kind of things. I think that might be the firmware or something else on it. So right now it's already counting up the temperature. It's hard for me to believe it's already up to 131 degrees, but very well could be 129. So that's how that works. So this thing real quickly is you have to tell it what you want on your food, and you tell it where you want to keep the pit. Now the food probe is it doesn't stop when it gets to whatever temperature you set as far as the food is. Some of the newer ones are probably a little more advanced, but this one here doesn't. It just warns you, so it tells you that your food's done. It doesn't stop the blower, it just tells you the food's done. But the pit, you hit the pit button, and it tells you how hot you want it to keep it. Well, right now it's telling me how hot it is. So when you hit the pit button, you either go up or down to set the temperature. And in my case, I want it set for 225. So right now it's at 121, and you can hear the blower. You see how it's flashing with a little flashing light. The blower's on. See the smoke coming out of the top? It's trying to warm up the big green egg. So blower's on. Big green egg is starting to warm up, 120. And this thing here, it will keep that temperature almost exactly perfect. Now I know there's some other products out there, and they may be better, I don't know, but I like this one here. The first one I had a little trouble with it, and I emailed the BBQ Guru folks, and they were real nice and real helpful, and they sent me a replacement. So it got me all fixed up. So anyway, food probe. I got mine set up for a Boston butt when I finished it off last time. So let's see what it's set for now. Okay, I have it set for 199 degrees. So I'm going to lower that down a little bit, because that's a little bit too for me. So let's see, 195 is about where I want it. 195 is what I got my food set for. And like I said, it doesn't stop it when it gets to temperature on the food probe. It just tells you that it's done. It will beep and say done. So anyway, so that's pretty much on the DBQ or Dx2 BBQ Guru. I really like using that. And then anyway, with it set up here is another thing too, is to remind this temperature gauge on the big green egg it's usually fairly off as far as what the grate temperature is. Keep in mind that this is a little far from the grate, so they're a little bit away. So this may be higher or lower than what it truly is in there. So it's really nice to have the grate probe to tell you exactly how hot or cold the grate is. So anyway, we're gonna stop for now, and I'll go prep the meat and get that ready to go, and I'll show you a little more in a little bit. We're inside, and I had to go get me a shower because cleaning out my big green egg, I got so dirty. Got my pants all dirty, and I had all that ash on me and stuff I cleaned out of there. But anyway, we're inside now. Want to get this Boston butt ready to go on the big green egg. We got the BBQ Guru outside, and it's getting the pit temperature up for us so we can cook this thing. Now it's going to cook all night, and we'll take these parts and pieces of the video and we'll piece them all together. So the video runs 15 minutes. Don't think that it cooked in 15 minutes, because it really didn't. So here at my house, my sweet wife, she makes a homemade rub. Now, she told me that this recipe is a new recipe, and she told me some of the things that are in it. I know there's cumin in it, and cayenne pepper, a little bit of brown sugar. Matter of fact, it's not really shaking up too good. Brown sugar's got a few clumps, but hey, clumps are all right, Clumps are just fine. Got salt and pepper in there. Let me give you a little advice on any kind of meat you get, and this is just my advice. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe I picked it up on my own, but always smell it real good. If it has any kind of smell at all, it doesn't just smell like raw meat, that you probably don't want to eat it. So I'm always real funny about meat I eat, because I don't want a sick tummy. I don't want to spend any time in the hospital having a stomach pump. That's not cool. But anyway, telling a friend how I do this, and he thought that was interesting. So I'm not real sure where I got the idea. I think I got it from one of those fellas on YouTube or something. But you use some yellow mustard, and just get the El Cheapo stuff. No matter where it comes from, it's fine. Just get you some yellow mustard, and you'll use that as a base for your rub. And the mustard taste has absolutely no taste that I've ever tasted on any piece of meat I've ever put mustard on for my rub base. You think it would, but you never taste it. It just gives you the ability to have something for your rub to stick to. So anyway, I'm gonna use my hands, and I know some of you professional expert chefs and all that business might not think that's the proper way, but that's what I'm going to do. Like Yukon Cornelius said, you eat what you eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like. But anyway, I'm going to use my hands, and this is truly the part where the rub comes in, where you rub. A lot of people think that the rub is rubbed in when it comes to putting the spicy stuff on there too, but I don't think you're supposed to rub that. And anyway, so get it all over it real good. You want to make sure you get all the cracks and crevices all mustered up. That's proper English, I don't know. I don't think it matters. And anyway, try to find your rub that's got a good fat cap on it. Some of these health nuts we'll talk about not eating fat or whatever, but it's the stuff the non-sugar and non-fat stuff is bad for you. Regular old fat is probably a lot better for you, if truth be known. But anyway, we're gonna get ready, and now that I got my hands all dirty, I'm gonna. Alright, so the idea of it is with a rub is I think you just want to kind of shake it on and coat it real good. I do what all husbands do when they get in the kitchen, they make a mess. Make a big mess. So I'm glad I have a wife that's willing to clean up my messes, you know. Partner in crime, my other half. And as a man, I think a man should always love his wife more than he loves himself. You know, when you get to the point in your relationship where you have an unconditional love, where you're going to love her whether or not she loves you or not, that's when you know you got a good relationship, because she loves me, and I think she loved me whether or not I loved her, and I love her whether or not she loves me. So, good relationship. The Lord has blessed me to have such a relationship. I tell you what, I always try to instill that in my kids. Make sure you take your time and pick out the right one. For all you young people out there who want to hear from somebody that knows a little something about it, I always see people getting married, people they don't have any idea about it, and they think they're going to change somebody. But I'll tell you, you don't ever change anybody. You're either going to have to pick somebody that you can learn to live with or not, but there's no sense in changing. But anyway, back to the rub. The idea is just shake it all down in there and get it covered good. Try not to make a mess. Like I said, this rub here is a little bit of a new recipe that my wife has cooked up. This time she wrote down the ingredients. So if it turns out real good, we'll know what we had in it, and then we can share it with you all. If you're interested in the recipe of the rub, just by all means write me a comment and let me know, and we'll make sure we get it posted. And if you like the rub, if you want the recipe for the rub and you think it's important, we might even just do a video on just making the rub. So anyway, and here we go. I don't know that it counts for anything. I like putting the rub on the bottom of the Boston butt, on the fat cap. I don't really know that it makes a difference either way, but we'll put it on there and we'll see how that goes. But this is kind of a messy thing if you're using mustard. Mustard makes a good base, and you'd think it would be real strong, but this mustard here isn't real strong. You don't have to go out and get the expensive stuff either. Just use the cheap stuff, and that'll work out just fine. And like I said, some people think you got to pat it down and blot it and all that kind of stuff. I never have, and it's always turned out real good for me. A lot of times I'll rub it off and put some more on, and I generally want to let the rub kind of soak into the mustard. So you'll notice, like right in here where that rub's kind of dry, it'll give it a little time, and then the mustard will soak into it. And that soaking in action is what causes it to stay stuck to the meat, which makes it tasty, makes it real tasty. Anyway, all right, I think that's pretty well covered. There might be a few spots in there that I missed, but once it's all smoked and cooked, it won't matter either way. So we'll go ahead and get this ready. All right, so we're outside, and I know it's gotten dark, and I'm sure the lighting is probably going to be kind of hard. And I'm not real sure what all you can see, but I'll explain it as I go. I got a big mouth, I like talking anyway. So I got my grate clean, I got my Boston out here, and I got me a pitcher of water. And I use warm water because I didn't want to use cold water and cool off my green eggs at the same time. So I'm going to fill up my catch pan with some water. And all that does is sort of boil that water off as it cooks. Grease and stuff will fall down in that pan as well, and it'll keep it from falling down in my green egg and getting it all greasy and stuff, which is not a big deal. You're going to use it, it's going to get greasy anyway. So anyway, let me try to get my meat on here. The idea with the Boston butt is the way I do it, you or however you want to, but what works for me is I always put my fat side up, so the fat cap goes up. That way when it's cooking, that fat cap will melt and it'll run all down on the meat, and it'll make it tasty, I promise you. So anyway, let me see if I can hold my flashlight with my neck and see what we can do here. Alrighty, so there we go. We got our Boston butt on there. We're going to get our meat probe in here and find a good spot on this thing that's got a good meaty place. You don't want to get right up next to the bone or whatever, and get your meat probe in there. So that's what it's supposed to look like, and we'll let it cook. I expect, I think it's about 7 o'clock my time, and I expect this thing will probably cook most of the night, and it'll be ready sometime around 12:30 or 1 for me to wrap it with foil. So that's what I normally do, is I let it cook a little while. When it starts smoking it good on the outside and getting it nice and brown, you know, and it's all the smoke is going to penetrate as far as it's going to penetrate, I put some aluminum foil on it, and I get some of that good Reynolds stuff that's good and thick, and I wrap it good. But anyway, you got to make sure that your BBQ Guru probe is not kinked or anything. You don't want to break your meat probe. But anyway, let me go and get this closed up, and we won't be opening and closing it. That's one thing that a lot of people do when they're cooking. They want to open them up and look at them and all that kind of stuff, and every time you open it up, it lets your moisture out and lets your heat out. So you don't want to let your moisture or heat out. And so real quickly, let me show you over here. If my flashlight holds out, my BBQ Guru is going to town. So you can see the blowers on. The food temperature is 50 degrees. So we'll check on it just in a little bit. Good morning. So it's the next morning. It's sometime around 8:30, somewhere in there, on Sunday morning. And our Boston butt is totally done. It's cooked. Put it on yesterday about 6:30, and then it cooked all the way up this morning till about 7 or so when the BBQ Guru started saying that it was done, and it is done. The internal temperature got up to about 200 degrees, which is a little hotter than I like, but it'll work. And sometime during this morning, about 3:30 or so, I went out and wrapped it in foil. And wrapped it in foil to kind of finish it off as far as cooking goes, because it wasn't done then. And that helps wrapping it and keeping it moist on the inside, makes it good and tender and juicy. Of course, that's just the way I do it. You can do them however you like. But anyway, I'm excited about it because we're going to eat this when we get home from church today. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited about church too. Sure enough, excited about what the Lord does for me. But anyway, let me try to give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. That's how it looks. I had wrapped it in foil and flipped it over so that the fat cap was on the bottom when it finished cooking. So that's what it looks like when it's done. As you can see, the rub stuck to it real well. What the barbecue people call bark, but I don't know if you really truly call that bark on the Boston butt or not. But anyway, It's on there. It's good and tender. See how that just gives, and you know you got it cooked good when you can just grab the bone and just pull the bone out of it like that. So anyway, yeah, but it smells so good. One of these days they'll invent a way to make smell come through a video. So some things watch out, but things like this would be really tasty. But at any rate, just wanted to share this with you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you don't mind, go ahead and like it or dislike it or comment or whatever. If you want the recipe for that rub, definitely comment, let me know. I'm not real sure that I'll make any videos of us eating it, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, make sure you got your paths right with the Lord Jesus Christ, because He is the only way to heaven. And if you're sitting out in the world thinking you're going to be good and work your way to heaven, you won't do, I promise you. And you're not too bad to go to heaven too. The Lord loves you no matter what you've done. If you've been living a rough life or whatever, Jesus Christ died for you. He died for me. We're all sinners. It's only through His blood are we able to make it to that glory land, and that place that He's prepared for us. And so anyway, y'all have a good day. God.